Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Turnbuckle Tavern presents the Dynamite Discourse, featuring myself, Mike Belcaster, and of course the staple, the OG Fig Kid, Tom. How you doing, Tom?
Dude, I just watched a friggin' Dynamite for the fourth week in a row, and holy crap, are they on fire?
My
Wow.
goodness, my friend. Holy hell, what a great episode that was, first off. Just banging. Obviously, I'm a little, flustered and just all over the place because
Tell us why, Mike.
let's just skip to that part real quick and then we can
Sure.
backtrack later. But damn, they announced tonight that the second episode of AEW Rampage on August 20th is going to take place in none other than Chicago, Illinois, at not the Allstate Arena, not the WOW Arena, but the home of Michael Jordan. We have the United Center. I'm flabbergasted, Tom. What do you think of this?
Dude, I mean, AEW confirmed. CM Punk. Dude,
Just a
he's
tad.
signed. He is signed. There's no doubt about it. We could stop speculating because tonight's whole show is just sign after sign that he signed, and then show up the best, and it's the best place to show you best in the world.
Yeah, man.
I mean, they are just
Darby Allin said
announcing
it
it.
right? He's like, if you're going to prove that you're a talent in this company, or even the best in the world, yeah, Anthony, you know what's going on, homie.
That's right, Anthony. This is how you do
I,
wrestling, Anthony, because I tell you, this is the fourth 5-star show they've put on in a row. WWE hasn't put on a 4 or 5-star show since the Attitude Era.
Yeah, no,
And that's a fact.
we've talked about it several times. Might be the most exciting era to be a wrestling fan. This is almost bigger than the Attitude Era, just because we're in our 30s, 40s, 50s, and we're all so pumped for this to be going down.
We're marking out like we're little kids again.
Yeah, and imagine what the little kids are feeling, if they're even feeling it, because they don't even know.
Exactly, man. They're just putting off shows that are off the charts, like from beginning to end. There's no downtime. There's no I could go run to pee time. You don't have the time when you're watching Dynamite Live.
Absolutely. And like, this is just part of the show. We also had, New Japan teases, Bullet Club teases. We had a hell of a match between the Elite and the Dark Order with Hangman Adam Page. Beautiful best entrances I think I've seen in my wrestling fandom. I swear, like, that was
Those are great entrances.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. I don't even know where we should go with this.
Dude,
I'm all over the place, my friend. I've never been more excited to be a wrestling fan. Yeah,
you're only giving this 4 stars, and you gave that first live SmackDown. I think you gave it. I can't even, Anthony. Come on now.
Yeah, man. No, it's like, come on. We're talking the downfall of the Dark Order and Hangman. Like, what's gonna happen next now?
Dude, that's exactly it. Who was expecting that result? But like, wow, it's like where do we go from here? Like, they totally throw a twist in there because you think they're setting up the match for All Out, but let's just play a little speculation game here. Yeah. What if it was supposed to be Adam Page and Omega at All Out, but
I feel
August 20th, it's announced it's going to be the best in the world versus Kenny Omega in Chicago at All Out.
I feel it. I feel it 100%. Like, okay, it's the second Hangman got put in the One Winged Angel. I was like, he's going to kick out tonight.
I said that too. I'm like, he's not kicking out tonight. What is this?
I was like, no way. Like, this is happening.
I think he's going to kick out here. What? And then
way to leave it to, like, Tony Khan is booking so brilliantly to a point, like what you just said, what I just said. We were expecting the big hurrah to happen tonight, and it was like, what? Come on, like, this is gonna blow up so big. Hangman's going to All Out. He's gonna face Kenny Omega. We're gonna see a new champion, and then boom, with the drops happen, and we see Kenny Omega beats Hangman, And like, I don't want this to be a move for move, a full thing. With the Turnbuckle guys carry that beautifully tomorrow night. But holy shit, my friends, we are going to see some beauty happen in the next couple weeks. This is crazy.
I mean, it is crazy. Anthony, oh Lord, I would love to see Punk versus Omega, but not at all out though. They have been doing too much with Page for him not to get his moment. He's gonna get his moment, Page. I feel bad if it's being put off for now because it's gonna be big for him. But one thing we love about what we hear about AEW is they're all team players, and I don't think Adam Page minds stepping aside for just a little bit to have this happen right now because he knows how big it is for the company.
Yeah, none of this level of excitement is just, it's something beyond what we could have imagined 2 years ago when they announced AEW. Like we know Punk's the big naysayer. Yeah, I'm not going to do this, blah blah blah. But I feel like we hit a stride when we did our video the other night. We've hit a point where Punk's kind of seen the success of AEW. They're almost this close to comparing with Raw numbers, right? They're at 1.2, 1.3 million. Raw's at 1.9. Lowest for Raw, biggest for AEW. I feel like
forget, the last episode in the Thunderdome was 1.5 million.
Yeah, and that's like literally that could be AEW tonight. With all the hype going on, I literally could see it happening, especially with how big the card was. Like we had Lance Archer defending the United States IWGP Championship, winning it, and then we got Tanahashi coming out next week, and like that's huge on its own. But then they announced this fucking show in the United Center with no way in hell. Yeah, I know. I'm a little kid right now.
They're not doing a stadium show without CM Punk being there.
No. And listen,
no way.
You're heading into September with 3 of the biggest shows that Chicago has seen in the last 20 months. We're looking at greatness, but then they announce this United Center show. CM Punk teases the Chicago Bulls, 1990s entrance. Michael Jordan, Kenny Omega comes out wearing 23 tonight.
Yeah.
Fuck me. I can't wait for tickets to go on sale. I can't wait to buy tickets. I'm so down to be there for all this. This is going to be so excellent, man.
Oh man, this is
crazy
exciting
shit.
Times, man.
Yeah,
I'm telling you again, and you know what? I love to see Lance Archer has picked up that momentum that he had before he got hit with the COVID, and it kind of derailed the push he was getting. And
100%.
just the last 2 weeks, he's put on two amazing matches. It's what I love about AEW. Every match is just, a friggin' banger. The last 4 weeks since they went back on the road. I mean, the shows were good before they went back on the road.
Yeah.
But they're on another level now. And I talked about Mike with this. We would text him back and forth. I said, man, I think AEW is beyond anything we've ever seen right now. And now I want to see the momentum keep up. And there's no reason for us to believe that it's not going to keep up. But damn, they're doing something right. And again, it's nothing's overkill. We're not getting the same thing week after week. It's something new. It's something fresh. Let's talk about the Jericho and all these things that MJF is throwing at him every week. It's something else. That's amazing. Tonight,
Gage, what do we got next week?
We saw a death match. We just saw a death match on a Wednesday night on TNT.
Yep, light tubes. You name it. Yeah,
the slicer
on TNT.
On TNT.
This isn't Breaking Bad.
9:30 on a Wednesday night.
It's crazy. And kudos to Nick Gage too, because he was running off that Cardona hype this weekend. And he really brought, like, at first I was like, oh, they're doing like a kind of duller version of that. But then they really stepped it up in the middle of the match and started pulling out these big spots. And like, you could hear the disdain in Jim Ross's voice halfway through the show, where he was kind of like, oh, Cornette's right, damn it. Like it's mud show bullshit. And like, I was here for it though, because I really think Jericho held his own. And then he gets the win, and then MJF comes out, shows this clip from how many months ago, and he's like,
October of, was it 19?
Yeah. And then he's like,
nearly 2 years ago.
Yeah. And then they announce next week that Jericho's got to win with a top rope maneuver against none other than Juventud Guerrero. And like, when was the last time we seen Juvi on regular TV, let alone TNT? This is a banger of just an announcement for this Jericho saga that's going on. I'm so all in for AEW right now.
And like, hats off to Jericho. We gave Cardona his due for what he did with GCW in an absolutely
100%.
crazy match. But here's Jericho, 50 years old, never wrestled a death match in his life. And right into the match, the first thing, his arm sliced open with the pizza cutter.
Yeah, and like
he's taking light tubes to the head. He's landing on the glass. You could see his back is bleeding from it. So for the guy, he loves it this much, and he's reinvented himself this much, and he wants to give to the fans and give to this company to go out and do that now when he doesn't have to.
Yeah,
just speaks volumes to me.
Absolutely.
So hats off to Jericho.
100% that was a bucket list thing for Jericho to do. Maybe even after he's seen Cardona's match, he was like, wow, they're really doing something there. And, you know, it was weird.
Well, when Zack Ryder could do it, baby, I could do it better.
God damn it, right? It was weird, though. The crowd wasn't as perceptive of Nick Gage after that match. I was expecting them to be a little more rowdier, and they were kind of like stalled down for when Nick Gage came out. You know, and then the match happened, and they really picked up momentum from, you know, all ends. But like, I was expecting Gage to get this huge ovation after this last weekend, and it just goes to show you how kind of niche GCW is compared to like this normal AEW crowd.
My prediction would have been that the reaction he got tonight, I mean, he is GCW, and he is the face of that company, but in any other company, he's a heel.
Yeah,
he's a heel. So
wildly, but I was expecting a little bit bigger of a pop from him tonight, and I was surprised that it wasn't like that. Yeah, Jericho is a goat.
he is a goat. He's not a goat. He might be the goat. I think there's a real argument for how long he's reinvented himself, and to keep meaning this much in what he's doing. You know, other people who have wrestled this old weren't doing it at the level Jericho's doing it at this point. And it's not that he's just doing it this old. He's been doing it this long. You know, it's not like he started later. We've seen other people still, like Lashley's, you know, a 46. He's having a great thing over on Raw. But Jericho's done it for 30 friggin' years. So his body is not in the same shape somebody as Lashley's in who hasn't done it as long.
Absolutely. And Jericho's like nonstop too. He hasn't taken time off that much compared to, you know, all these other people. Yes, Jericho is the goat in the house.
Oh yeah,
but it's wild, man. And you see the following he keeps bringing with the Judas chants, you know, the sing-alongs when he comes out. It was huge tonight. This was one of the hottest crowds AEW's had since pre-pandemic. One of the biggest crowds they've ever had, 7,000 people. It's huge. And this is only the beginning. You know, United Center houses 23,000 fans. And I don't think for a second that the show is not going to sell out with all the rumors and news that's been falling into it. I think it's going to be amazing. And the coolest thing would be the biggest swerve Tony Khan could pull is if Daniel Bryan shows up at that Rampage and not CM Punk, and they save CM Punk for the pay-per-views. Imagine that, because like the New York show, huge numbers, 19,000 is what they're hoping for. But you're talking 23,000 people in Chicago, Illinois. The crowd would erupt, then boo the shit out of it.
Yeah,
but it might be good.
They can't do that. They can't not have him show up to that card because they don't want to deal with that.
I don't think they could handle a riot.
What's up, guys?
Brother, man? Fuck. I didn't even get my after sex cigarette yet. Like this was huge.
What have you guys been talking about?
We've been talking about
stuff here and there.
We're all over the place with excitement. We're like giddy little kids again, just watching this amazing product every week. Like I said, we've got that excitement back.
Yeah,
you know, every single week, 4 or 5-star shows in a week. It's amazing. Although if you go by Anthony, it was a 4-star show.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 5-star.
Easily
5-star Matt. We're going by a 5-star rating system, I should say.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't hand out 5s. I'll go 4.5. 4.5.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
They have
I get
done
that.
different to make it a 5 though. Like it was an amazing show. There wasn't a dull part. There wasn't a boring filling match.
True, and the CM Punk thing, I think, might put it over the top to a 5. Just
and the entrances, right? We're starting off with the entrances for the first 5-on-5 match.
Amazing, especially Dark Order.
Very good. Yeah, that was one of the coolest shit I've ever seen. And then you got this Toon Squad with big, and I was expecting almost a CM Punk tease during that match, like the one like Hangman gets put in the One Winged Angel. And what if they cut the black and they started playing the Bulls, and Omega would be like, "What the fuck? I'm Jordan," That's what I was looking at almost. And then they totally went the opposite direction with it, which is crazy. But like, man, what a solid match it was. Huge spots all over the place for the Dark Order and the Elite. The basketball. Meltzer driver was hysterical spot. It was a solid put together match. Me and Tom were just saying, Chad, we were both expecting this to be Hangman's I kick out of the One Winged Angel moment. Kind of like the build up. Even if he didn't win, it would have been like, oh shit, Kenny Omega's kind of falling apart now. And like, but it didn't happen, but it was still like it was perceived like it was gonna happen. It was crazy.
I was shocked that they let I was shocked that they had Kenny and Hangman touch as much as they did. I thought they were going to go the route of every time Hangman got in there, Omega was going to bring someone else in. So that shocked me a little bit. Even more shocked that they let Omega win, but not in a bad way. I like that they're
exactly what we said. Yeah,
they're not just giving it to us. Like, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen to get him back into that picture. I don't think this is the end of the all-out match per se.
No.
But let me ask you, we touched on this. I said, do you think maybe some plans were altered and maybe come August 20th, we'll find out CM Punk is fighting Omega at All Out instead for now?
Well, I mean, I do think plans have been altered by these two signings, but I don't think it's going to be Punk Omega. I think we got the tease tonight what that's going to be.
Yeah.
And I think it's very, very cool that, when they signed and had this discussion with Punk's having a say in who he wants to come in against. And for him to be like, I want Darby. Like, the fact that Darby made that statement, that's not just a throwaway.
That's the point.
What do they do? Bring in Punk. He has a match with Darby, and then he goes into a short, like 1 week build into All Out. No.
Yeah.
No.
That's a good point.
I think we're going to get Punk Darby probably at All Out.
Yeah, very easily.
Wow.
I could totally see
that. What a match.
Yeah, no, and this is what we were talking about, since we started talking about this whole fucking fiasco of Punk coming to AEW. Like, there's so many roads for him to go down here compared to what he would be doing in WWE. I think that this is just as they book the show, this is the very beginning. This is going to be huge.
Well, you guys asked about what's the rating, and Anthony gave it a 4, and you guys gave it a 5, and you could say, okay, I saw Anthony like the Thunder Rosa match, the Ricky Starks promo were both meh to me. Okay, I'll give you that, but the fact that this was a confirmation of Punk signing tonight.
100%.
100%.
This was a complete confirmation. All the rumors are true. There's no guesswork. It's signed, sealed, and delivered. They're not going to say best in the world and announce a United Center event without having this locked down. So the fact that 7+ years in the making, we finally get the confirmation of Punk coming back to pro wrestling, and it's with AEW, that alone at least gives the argument for a 5-star night.
Yeah, 100%. You remember when I was talking about it would almost benefit them more to debut him before the pay-per-view because it would draw more fucking buys for the pay-per-view.
Absolutely.
And Tony Khan, avid viewer of the Turnbuckle Tavern, he watched that episode and he looked at it and he was like, yeah, these boys are right, man. Like, we know what the fuck.
We know Tony is creeping our page.
Hell yeah, Chicago.
We've seen the writing on the wall.
It's just funny. We make those comments and boom, it's booked.
It's almost so perfect that it works right. Like, imagine Monday when this shit happens with the show, with the going on sale. How fast do you think, both of you, how fast do you think it's going to sell out? That's what I want to know, because we got All Out sold out in 10 minutes, 5 minutes. You're talking double the arena space. People are going to drive from all over the place to come witness this.
Ticketmaster better be
prepared.
Better be pumping up their servers because shit might crash.
Yeah, it's gonna sell out so fast. You're in Chicago, his hometown, one of the, if not the best city for wrestling here. It's gonna sell out.
3 shows, not even 3 weeks after that event, though, that are already doing great numbers. But then they show this, like, why not Montana? Why not Utah? Why not fucking California, New York, Texas, Florida? There's no reason why they would come back for a 4th show in Chicago without it being something so big. It's stupid to even bat an eye otherwise. Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's a great point. That's a great point right there by Anthony, because it's very true. As soon as they did the Tony Schiavone announcement of the United Center, what do? They cut to the fans with a very audible chant.
Yeah.
CM Punk. I heard the chants going when they had the graphic up on the screen.
Yeah.
And they didn't shy away from it. They didn't turn the sound down to avoid it. They highlighted it. So
full blown.
Yeah.
And
again,
how crazy is that gonna be?
It was nuts to CM Punk is signed all night long. Little things like the
100%
intros. So that was quite obvious, which is amazing that they're doing that because they want that to sell out on August 20th.
Yeah.
So there's no way, like you were saying, what if they switch it to make it Brian? There's no way they could do that.
Oh, it would be
no way.
The biggest heel turn AEW could possibly do on a crowd.
Yeah.
But that leaves Brian open for, before the New York show. What if Brian shows up at the Casino Battle Royal at All Out? What could happen from there on out? There's so many endless possibilities going on right now that it's just mind fuckery on Tony Khan's part. And like we've talked about it, he's creating this new era of kayfabe. This is it, baby.
Yeah, man. I think Anthony wants to join in, Tom.
Dude, I'll bring him in. Come on, Anthony, let's go.
Let's get everybody in here.
Where's
J-Bone?
Yeah, right.
I think J-Bone.
Yeah, brother. J-Bone's rocking out and hanging out,
Okay, I got a question for you guys, though.
Hook it up. I'm so flabbergasted. Let's go.
They totally tipped their cap to Punk on the 20th at the United Center.
Yeah.
Does that take anything away from you now that we kind of know? I mean, yeah, they could swerve us, but I feel like we're not going to. I think it's a way to sell out the United Center by announcing that.
100%.
So does it take away anything that we kind of know when he's coming back now?
You know what? I think part of it was Tony Khan did some interviews over the last day or two, and he was nice. I can't comment on those rumors. That sounds awesome, but I can't do that, blah, blah, blah. And we're all kind of expecting it. We were all expecting for All Out, but then for them to announce this show so close to, Dynamite Rampage on September 3rd or whatever the hell it is, we got All Out. This is, like I said, this is 3 weeks less than that show. We're gonna get. This is the only way you could sell out that arena. If you don't provide a CM Punk at that Rampage, you will lose half of your fan base.
Yeah, you can't give us an exploding barbed wire death match and not give us the boom again. You know what I mean?
This is prom. You can't tease.
It's time to put out. You can't.
We're going home, man. Yeah, like this is beyond jeans against jeans. This is full blown fucking everything we've ever wanted. And if Tony Khan understands the business, which really tonight showed he's got way better a handle on it than anybody we've seen before. This is going to be explosive, and United Center is such a good tease for that.
He's like a little kid, and he has his fig fed, and all of a sudden he just got the CM Punk figure. And he's like, "How can we tease this? Let's make it fun before I take the figure out and put him in with everybody else."
Yeah. Welcome, Anthony. What's going on?
Hello. This live stream just went from 5 stars to 4 stars. The boys.
we'll get like a 4.8 out of it, right?
Yeah, 4.5.
They could have improved. Absolutely. There could have
been the filler on tonight's Dynamite show. I'm the filler involved.
Man, like I wish I could just fly all of you out for fucking Rampage, and I'll show you a good show, man. Like this is gonna be mind-blowing shit. I can't wait for Monday. This is better than Wednesday nights. I'm excited to buy tickets for another show. And like we were talking about in our group chat, what if this new uprising of pandemic bullshit kind of hampers our big vibes for All Out? What a way to pull it out before that. Almost like sink, hook, line, sinker. We caught the fish before it all holy hell broke loose.
Yeah, it's almost like they want to make sure this happens.
Yeah,
they don't.
100%.
Yeah.
If Tony Khan is that worried about it, he's not announcing this show, and he's now adding more seating to Arthur Ashe. If he's that concerned that it's not going to happen,
100%.
Yeah,
so I'll mask.
I just checked for Arthur Ashe. They have like a whole nother section available. From the last time I checked, I was like, I'm not surprised. They have like so many. I'm sure now even more tickets are going to be coming in with this with all the teasing tonight, but it's crazy. It's so crazy that this is all and it's great to see that you guys are like very excited about it. It makes me happy that you guys are all like giddy about Punk and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Stoked. So did you guys notice the pipe bomb variation from MJF? Did you guys notice it? I didn't pick up on it. What
are you talking about?
What do you mean?
Are we talking about Hoovy? If we're talking about Hoovy, that's not a big pipe bomb, but that's pretty cool.
Did he match up maybe some of his promo to match what Punk said? I didn't catch that.
He didn't sit down in Indian style or child's pose, whatever they call it nowadays. And he was he didn't mention Colt Cabana. That's for damn sure.
That would be great. Someone has to do that. It's got to be MJF that he just sits there in the Indian style.
Oh yeah,
drops the Colt Cabana name. Someone's got to do it before.
I hope it's Evil Uno. I hope he comes out and sits Indian style and he's like, you know what, blah blah, blah, and just does it. That would be so great,
Anthony. I'm so glad you're finally getting to see what great wrestling is.
I know that AEW is great. I have said this multiple times, Thomas. But, it's the only reason. Okay, I said it in the chat. The only reason why this was a 4 is because, I have to take points away from just, the other stuff. This whole Ricky Starks thing, I'm like, they're kind of losing me on. The stuff with the women tonight, they just didn't present them in a good, as is a trend recently, they just haven't been presenting the women as a main part of Dynamite. And the Thunder Rosa match was fine for what it was. I'm glad that she signed, but you can't just have a throwaway match on a big event like Fight for the Fallen. You need to do something. And I just thought that they didn't capitalize on anything. So that's why I take a star back. But the opening match, great stuff. Best entrance for the Dark Order. Even the main event, like I said, it took a little bit to hype up, But like once it got heated and, you know, once that fucking pizza cutter came out, I was like, all right, they got me. I'm won over by this. But yeah, I mean, those were the only things I would say were like,
I think the women thing, I mean, under a normal company standard, I would agree with you. My only thing with that is I think, what do you take away to feature more women? And I think this is by design because they're waiting for their women. Let's be honest, a lot of the women on that roster are young. They need more time. Britt Baker has a broken arm right now. Legit. Yeah. She broke her arm in that Nyla Rose match, or her wrist, I believe. And I think they're in a position where you don't want to hotshot book women's matches into an event, especially when you have so many storylines right now. Like we got the elite match, the 10-man match. I guess the only thing you possibly could have like weaseled out, maybe the Hardy Family Office match, you could have
100%.
Put that somewhere else and featured a women's match. But I really think this next year, now that they've got the Daniel Bryans, the CM Punks, I feel like their men's roster is locked. And I think the directive for the company is probably going to be really beefing up and focusing on the women's division, especially with Omega recently in the press saying that he hopes Rampage features more women, because a lot of people don't know Omega is behind the women's division. He's the head booker. He's the head coach for those matches. So he has a very big investment in that division. So I look to see them slowly build that up a little more.
I had zero problem with that match tonight because it was more of a reintroduction to Thunder Rosa. She's signed now. She hadn't been on TV in a while. You're not going to put her in a big main event type match right away. It was fine. It didn't take away. It was short. It was sweet.
And also to add to that, Julia Hart is fucking what, 21?
She's
maybe
19.
My
age.
But listen, like exactly. And then she's part of the Varsity Blondes, which are a huge over tag team right now. And it's almost like, give her a chance. What a better place to like. This isn't dark. This isn't Monday nights. This is Dynamite. Put her on live TV. Nobody's doing that right now with other talent. WWE's not doing that with young talent. They're not even doing that with NXT talent. Like
I think it's a solid, it's a solid buffer match. It's a solid 100%. Buffer match with one of your mainstay. Thunder Rosa's top of their division. She's right up there towards the top, and then you put her in against a hot young prospect that the fans like. I mean, Varsity Blondes over.
Huge.
When we went to Double or Nothing and went to the Fan Fest, they had one of the longest lines there. People love Julia. I think putting Julia Hart with the Varsity Blondes, it's a perfect package.
Oh, it was a great matchup. Yeah.
Even when I went to Warrior Wrestling, they were the longest line there. Like you had people like Brian Cage, Danhausen, and like all these huge indie names, and you got Brian Cage who's been featured on fucking Dynamite, Dark, all this stuff with the Taz company, and the Varsity Blondes it was on a football field. It was longer than the 50-yard line. It was a huge ass line. It took me a half hour to meet them, and like that just goes to show how big they are right now. Of course, you want to focus on that aspect of it. You're seeing that they're a draw. Not only are they a draw, they're professional as hell. When we met them, they were the nicest people to my kids. They took pictures. Julia Hart was texting my wife on fucking Instagram the day after, and she's like, "I love your kids, man.
They're beautiful baby faces."
Absolutely. So like, who a better person to showcase that, especially with DMD has an injury right now. You don't want her to take off time, but like, you want to kind of prolong her from getting back into the ring with that kind of injury. She had a broken wrist, for God's sakes. Like, it's not like, yeah, let it build up a little bit more. I would love for this to stem into a Thunder Rosa DMD match at All Out. I would be all for that. And
that's happening. That
feels like the only match that they can put on at this point. Like, it's got to happen.
Yeah. Who else is there? They have no one built up to face Brett. If Brett can even go at All Out, I don't know how if she's going to wrestle with her wrist.
She said she's not missing any time.
Yeah. She's a bad motherfucker, man.
So I guess Best in the World says, Chris, while you sit there in more pain than you've ever been in your entire life, I need you to listen to me. And then it's a play on John Cena. While you lay there, hopefully as uncomfortable as you possibly can be, I want you to listen to me. Subtle.
Yeah,
It's a
I didn't
Yeah,
catch
another-
that.
I didn't
another
catch
that's a
one of
hard
those-
catch.
Another
good
one of those
catch.
little
That's a
nods
good
that
catch.
they're. So that's really impressive. Thanks for sharing that, Best in the
Yeah,
World.
man.
Yeah, I told you there was little nods to it that we probably didn't even pick up all night long if we went back and watched it again, which I probably will when we're done here. That we'll catch something else.
Kenny Omega in the 23 jersey was like an instant. I was like, it's happening tonight. Like I was so fucking pumped for it, and then like it didn't. But whatever. We got this tease to this United Center show. I'm telling you,
we're setting up for the pod tonight. Sneed over there on the ones and twos.
Sup, Sneed? I mean, what can we expect on the pod tomorrow morning when you're waking up and driving to work? Give us a little preview.
We're going to go blow by blow, man. I know you guys are going to chat it up. We're going to go segment by segment like we always do. Do some deep dives and talk about all the cool shit, the CM Punk stuff, the ramifications of Omega going over, which was very interesting to me.
very.
I mean, there was a lot of stuff tonight. Even I really want to get into the FTR Santana Ortiz match. If that ended, I think that was an abrupt ending that came down from Tony, because that injury was a legit injury. I hope that's not bad. I know he was bleeding, but he rushed over to Doc Samson, so I'm worried about that.
Yeah.
The dude, King Haku, Ming, how cool was that? The Miro promos every week pop me. How he's talking about his double jointed wife every week. It's kind of creepy, but I'm here for it. Like there's so much cool shit. And obviously the main event, dude, I think as far as a national TV death match, we were all like, are we getting the tubes? We got the light tubes. So
hell
we
yeah,
got the light tubes.
And
more than we were expecting.
The pizza slicer.
The Hoovy juice announcement. So we'll be breaking all that down, and then we got Tavern Goes to the Movies, where we're going to step back and talk a little bit about Suburban Commando tonight. So
yeah, brother, that's what I'm talking about.
We're going to break down a little Impact, talk about Jay White. I don't know if you guys saw the Jay White promo from Impact. It was incredible. But I'll let you guys do your thing on the live recap and jump off here and get into the podcast. But you guys have a good show.
Yeah, you too. Thanks
can't
for
wait
coming
to
on.
hear it in the morning. Make sure you check out the Turnbuckle Tavern on all your podcast and platforms tomorrow morning.
Ring that bell. You'll be notified instantly.
Don't be too hard on Anthony.
Yeah,
I'm gonna school him on a little something right now, but
oh boy.
Other than that,
oh god, here we go. The OG's gonna give you a lesson, Anthony. Watch out.
No, I am gonna give him a lesson actually, and
I can't wait. Let's go.
If you were alive during the Attitude Era when Raw was banging the whole night long, they always had to have those matches right before something good was to happen to bring the crowd down, to relax them a little bit, so they have the energy. Yeah.
Let me up match.
Yeah, exactly. And that's all the Thunder Rosa match was tonight. And the Ricky Starks promo, a good solid promo, quick. There was nothing wrong with it. I don't feel like it brought the crowd down.
It was serviceable. It wasn't it wasn't super like, wow, that was I'm kind of with Anthony there. I wasn't like blown away by that segment, but I'll let you guys go to it. Have a great show.
See you, Chad.
Take it easy, boys.
See you guys.
Kill it tonight.
Always.
Hell yeah, man.
So that's what happens when you have when Raw used to be 2 hours, or even on the pay-per-views. Right before the main event, they would usually throw like the 5-minute Divas match in there, a bra and panties match, just to bring the crowd down. Now they're not doing bra and panties matches here, unfortunately. Did I say that? They're not doing bra and panties matches here. They're just doing a women's match, and again, it relaxed the crowd a little bit so they could be worked up for the main event. So
100%.
I think my whole thing is that, like, because you guys like made great points and you kind of turned me more towards like the whole idea of it being Thunder Rosa against like a hot prospect like Julia Hart. My whole thing is that like it's been a few weeks now, ever since Double or Nothing, that they've been utilizing the women as the kind of filler match, like everything that they've been doing with Penelope Ford and the Bunny and Chris Statlander. It's kind of like, how many times are you going to use? I think the only high profile match that they've really had was just the stuff between Britt and Nyla. And even when they had that weird tag team match with Vicky Guerrero, you know, from what I can remember, you know, that's all I can think of being like a match for the women that wasn't kind of just like a filler thing. Tonight's match like was definitely like decent. I just feel like if you have something that's as interesting as you guys were telling me about, why weren't they like kind of doing a little bit more to hype it up and kind of telling us last week that this match was going to be happening so that we could kind of lead to it for this week?
Go ahead, Mike.
So let me just say this. All right. You have all this snow coming down right now. You know, it's Christmas. Santa's dropping off presents at the tree. Are you really going to worry about what's in the stocking at this point? Like, you know, we got,
there you go.
We got, you know, Thunder Rose and Julia Hart. Julia Hart's an extremely talented lady. So is Thunder Rose. We know Thunder Rose is great. Britt Baker unfortunately broke her arm last week, or fucking wrist, whatever it was. I don't think they've been. This has been the best time for the women's division in AEW. I think this was just like take a deep breath. You know, we just gave you all this shit tonight, and it was a lot to digest. We had Hangman losing, you know, against the Elite, forfeiting his title match for the time being, the future. You know, we get this tease of this Chicago show. We get, you know, and I get the hate towards the Ricky Starks promo, but he also came out and was like kind of in his place with it. He did the, you know, pulled the title up, gave it the kiss. He's pretty Ricky Starks. He's just living the gimmick, man. He's doing the work to sell his character. Just because it wasn't on par with the rest of this fucking epic ass show doesn't take away from how good it was. And I totally get it. You know, I don't know where else to go with it. It's just, I think that for what you're expecting from a normal traditional wrestling show, they're kind of all over the place right now because so much shit's happening that we kind of sit back and accept it. I think this is the beginning of a boom for the women's division for AEW. I think Julia Hart, like we said, she's 19, man. She's your age. She's kind of getting her place in the sun right now, and I think it's only going to get better for her. And what a better way to showcase her against somebody as renowned and established as Thunder Rosa, you know what I mean? And she did great tonight. It was a good match. It wasn't like a shit squash match,
right?
You know,
yeah. I think that's a good point. Is that it wasn't like you know, as filler as like a squash matches. Like they did put on a pretty competitive match, and like
listen, it wasn't a SmackDown tag match, okay? and I don't mean that in a bad way, but like, you know, they put a lot of work into it, and I totally get it. At the same time, it wasn't nowhere near was it a 5. I'll take that down, and I'll say it was like a 4.7, 4.8, but like the shit that wasn't as exciting is because the stuff that was exciting was beyond fucking exciting. It was, you know, we're on the moon right now. They're like talking like, yeah, we're at liftoff. Like it's okay to kind of feel that. I totally get that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I'm still saying it's a 5 because when I rate a show a 5, I think what could I have done to improve the show and make it better? And there's really
not
nothing
much
that I'm thinking they could have done to do that tonight. But you know, Anthony, me and Chad were talking about you. One of the things we love about you is you're only 19, but you get the business so well. Like as a fan, you're way above any other 19-year-old fan that I've spoken to or I met. Like, and that's what I love about you. And that's why we work great for the SmackDown recap show.
Right.
Because you get to see the guy who's been around watching wrestling for 40 years and you who's been watching it for 10 years. Yeah.
The grizzled veteran and the young lion.
You grasp it a lot better than most fans do. And that's awesome for your age because a lot of 19-year-olds aren't going to grasp it like you do. Your podcast is a damn good listen, you know? And I'll tell that. So keep it up. And like I said, I'm not doing anything to shit on you. I'm having fun.
Oh no, I know 100%.
Okay,
I think it's just I've seen when it comes to like knowing the business, whatever. But I think it's just that I've seen so much in this last decade that it's just like, you know, you see the good, you see the bad, and you just get a feel of like, you know, I'm at the point where I can watch Raw and I can call what's going to happen before it even happens, just because I've seen so much of it. So now that I'm going to eventually see a decade of Dynamite, I feel like that'll even be the same thing. But I feel like it's even better that I can't call what's going to happen yet because of how exciting everything is.
But do you know what makes Dynamite great? Is me and Mike both thought, and Chad did too, Adam Page was going over tonight.
Yep. 100%.
Then what the great thing about Dynamite is, boom, it doesn't happen. It's the same thing with the Casino Battle Royale, a couple of months ago. That's like, oh, there's 4 people left and Christian's still in there. Christian's going to win. And all of a sudden, we're handed Jungle Boy, which was amazing.
Right.
Like, so
you see, I did not think that Page was going to win tonight, just because I'm like set on them going out at All Out. So like, if you were going to let Page win tonight, you would have to do the match like within the next few weeks. And I feel like they want to draw this out a little more. So I was kind of set on like, okay, they're going to let him lose now, but build up the story. So that's why I'm kind of like, when you mentioned Punk versus Omega for All Out, I would love to see it. I think anyone would, but I don't know. I'm kind of like, I feel bad for Page if they're just like, okay, big time Punk is here. We're going to have to push you to the side after a year of storytelling with Omega, and we're going to, put Punk here. So I feel like they're set on it, but like, don't be surprised if Punk is like right after the Omega match with Page, if they just give him that title shot, be it against Page or Omega. I think Punk versus Omega is going to happen, be it for the title or not, just not at All Out. I think it's going to happen after that.
Yeah, I'd like to see it happen after Punk has had a few matches and he gets to rust off. He hasn't wrestled.
I think that's very important.
So I mean,
hear me out here. Punk debuts at Rampage, fights maybe Darby if it happens at Rampage. Might not. I could totally see him just coming out at Rampage. All right. We got 2 weeks build time till the week of All Out after that. Punk comes in, challenges Hangman for the fucking number 1 contendership. Easily think would fall on Tony Khan saying you have to earn your title shot, would fall on Punk being a huge name, right? And that could go either way. It would still draw towards this pay-per-view. And if Hangman goes over Punk, right? I know it's crazy, but Hangman goes over Punk here and goes to All Out to win the AEW title. It's going to make his win even 10 times bigger than it already was without Punk in the picture. Okay.
Let me ask you a question. Like, I know I'm thinking a little too much here, but is the win over Punk as important when he hasn't wrestled in 8 years?
Yes.
What does he need to?
100%. Yeah. You know why? Because
it's CM Punk.
He still claims he's best in the world, as Darby Allin said. It doesn't matter if you think you're the greatest wrestler or if you think you're best in the world, come prove it. And I said this with the potential Braun Strowman signings with AEW. If you're going to show me anything, prove me wrong on the Braun Strowman aspect. I hate the Braun Strowman character. Never was a fan with it in WWE. But if anybody was going to show me a different light, it would be AEW. And not saying that towards Punk. I love Punk. I'm Chicago. I'm fucking straight up society for life. You know what I mean? But there has to be a big payoff at this Rampage, or else it wouldn't be before these 3 shows that they already booked in Chicago, nearly sold out the first 2, and All Out sold out in like 5 minutes. You got not only history at this WoW Arena show with since All In, but you also have your biggest show back since the pandemic, and then this Arthur Ashe show comes out. And they're talking 19,000 people. And then they go ahead and announce before that show even comes to fruition, 23,000 person arena for the Chicago Bulls have done playoffs there in the 90s and won 3-peat, 6-peat. You got the Chicago Blackhawks. This is a renowned historical building. And there was teases about it years ago at StarCast. Cody was like, what about the United Center? And the crowd was like, eh. But if you're going to sell out the United Center, this is the moment to do it. And this is the place to do it with Punk. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if CM Punk shows up, like, if they tease it a little bit before that, because you have to figure out a way to really sell that arena out, because that's going to be some massive, big explosion shit going on. Better than any death match they could put on. That explosion, like Eddie Kingston is laying down right now expecting the explosion.
Man, it's exciting times to be a wrestling fan, especially an AEW fan. People should just stop hating on it and start embracing it, because they're
100%.
they're only missing out. They're only hurting themselves.
They turn on the WWE fans turn on Renee Pecchia today for supporting her husband, because they were like, "You boo!" Like, and they started like sending her hate tweets and shit. Like, that Renee's a sweetheart.
Why? What happened? I didn't miss this.
She was just talking about Moxley and how she was like, "Oh, I support him for doing shit," and then they were like, "You fucking AEW, Mark!" Like,
she said something about the fans too, like the WWE like treats their fans like they're stupid.
Was it. Yeah, that was 100% it.
They do. I sit there watching this. I'm saying, "What do you think? I'm stupid?" They pretend things don't happen. They book things stupidly. They do. That's a fact. And if you're too stupid to see it, then you deserve to be treated like that.
You haven't been a fan long enough, if that's what you think. This was great. I'm excited for the future. I
couldn't tell.
Yeah, right. I was talking faster than you were last night when you were doing your interview with Steve. It was crazy, man. This is just the beginning, and Tony Khan has already said this is just the tip of the iceberg. I cannot even expect what's going to happen next, let alone be just as excited as I am. This is going to be a hell of a year for AEW. So big.
You're in for a real treat with all these Chicago shows, because if CM Punk is announced August 20th, which he's going to be, what's going to be happening during that whole week? There's going to be something setting up the pay-per-view, man. So
it has to be.
Right to be this excited. You have a right.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, like, this is the first time I've marked out in at least 10 years. And mark out is the bare minimum. I am fucking over the moon right now. Second I seen it, I took a deep breath and I was like, "Oh, I got a long Monday morning."
Wait, so quick point that I just realized: isn't SummerSlam August 21st?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Rampage is just
just an interesting little pointer there to throw in.
That's what they get for throwing NXT up against Dynamite when it first happened.
Yeah,
we've come full 180, and Tony Khan's
what a banger weekend that's going to be, though. Jesus, you get probably Punk coming back on Friday, then you got SummerSlam, then you got Cross and Joe at the Sunday tape. It's going to be a great weekend. Oh man, I'm looking forward to that.
We're in for some.
I'm actually sad that there's nothing I'm looking forward to on SummerSlam as of now. Like, I'm looking forward to all this AEW stuff. Like, I don't really care about seeing Cena and Reigns again.
Not even Edge. This is off topic.
I do want to see.
There you go.
Let's talk about it.
I got you. You see, that's how we go against each other.
But I'm still I can't wait to see the build to that match, because I think both of them are amazing. They're both great on the mic. But I'm still not as excited as I am watching the AEW. I've got this excitement in me, and I want that from WWE. I'm craving, I'm so happy to get it from AEW now. WWE, when they start losing in the ratings, you're going to see more things change, and I'm excited for that.
So. We're less than a month away from the potential. It's going to be crazy. I listen. I love the Rollins Edge stuff. I love Cena, Roman, but we could have seen this 10 years ago and it would have still been the
definitely.
same. You know what I mean? I know Edge busted his ass to get in shape and better so he could make this big return, and then it got squandered by the pandemic and everything, and then he's doing these crazy matches during the pandemic, and it sucks for the wrestlers that work at WWE that they have to kind of deal with this blowback from AEW. I grew up on WWE. It was my, one and only love. Maybe a few WCW shows were above that, but this is, I will double down on this right now. This is the best time to be a fan for for wrestling in general since the beginning of the Attitude Era. Since Scott Hall walked out on Nitro. This is almost bigger than that. And I mean that in the most sincere way possible.
Listen, WWE before the Attitude Era was dull. It wasn't great. It's kind of like the same thing it is now, and Nitro forced them to be better. So what we're hoping for is AEW forces them to be better, and they start putting some meaningful matches and stories on the young guys and let them go with it. Let people have more say. Like, it's time for that because it's going to be good for everybody. So. I mean,
Ted Turner ain't fucking around.
and like this is an exciting time to be a wrestling fan because we've seen all these jumps overs from WWE to AEW. Eventually, we're going to start seeing some AEW guys go to WWE, and that's when WWE. That's also exciting.
Maybe, yeah. No, look at the Mikaela Black angle with Cody tonight. That was something we didn't even touch on. That was straight heat. And then they came out, and Cody was getting booed. And
I was so happy to hear that. I don't know if I've ever expressed my Cody hatred on the Turnbuckle Tavern, but I am so happy that he got booed tonight because it's about time.
There is nothing AEW can do right now to stop the fans from booing Cody and cheering for Malachi Black. He is so exciting. WWE fucked up when they wrapped him with a bow and handed him to AEW with only a 30-day non-compete clause. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, because now next week we have a match to look forward to. We get to see Malachi Black and Cody in the ring, and
on TV.
On TV. Yeah. We don't have to wait for a pay-per-view. It's homecoming. It's homecoming. It'll probably be the main event, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't think there's anything else on the card right now that comes close to that.
The show with it, like they did tonight, because tonight's opening show should have been a main event, and vice versa. But shit, man,
we're already looking forward to an awesome Dynamite next week, and I'm telling you, if Malachi Black doesn't win that, we riot.
All right, I have a wrap up question.
All right,
for both of you. Okay, where do you see this going in? Not 6 months, because that's too long to predict, but like, where do you see this going shortly after All Out? And I'll start with Anthony. Where do you see all this buildup right now? The CM Punk teases, the Daniel Bryan teases, this beautiful fucking Christmas Day that we just got today. where do you see this going in 3 months from now?
Where do I see this going? Is it just easy to just say to the moon and we call it an episode here? Like,
we can do that. That's okay.
I feel if Tony Khan is really as serious as he is about like this being like just the tip of the iceberg or whatever, and we're still got all these surprises coming, I feel like there's nowhere but up for this company, because you also have to, like, I keep just having it in the back of my mind that like we haven't even seen this whole Forbidden Door thing really take effect. Like, sure, we got Hikuleo tonight, we get like every now and then like a big name like Jay White going over, and we saw Kenta in AEW. We haven't seen like the big names go at it yet, which and with that, we haven't seen the big names that are not involved with New Japan and, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan even show up yet, and they can still go at the New Japan guys. So there is just so much that they can do. And, I keep saying it, if this whole plan isn't leading to a huge super show with all these companies, like, I don't know what they're going for, because there's no way that they could have AEW, New Japan, Impact, all these they're already doing it with the Bound for Glory for Impact. They're promoting AEW and I think a few other companies that I'm forgetting the names of right now, but they're promoting all these companies. So there's obviously a demand to do it. If they could pull it off and they can put it in a big stadium, I'm sure that numbers will sell. This will be a huge, comparable to the All In event. And that was, a huge event, probably even bigger, because it's all these companies coming together. So I feel like that is my main way of like how to go after All Out, like, be it whenever they decide to do it, I don't know. But I feel like that's just my end goal of seeing the Forbidden Door stuff still slowly taking effect. but eventually it's just got to boom, put these all together and get this fucking end game Infinity War type shit going on. But that's kind of where I want to see it. But fuck, I'm looking forward to it.
Now, Tom, before you answer, did you think tonight was going to be the Super Show announcement from Tony Khan? Did you think Tony Khan was going to come out there and say, "Hey, NWA, Ring of Honor, AEW, or Impact, like whatever the fuck it is, they're all coming together and we're like WrestleMania weekend. We're putting together the biggest show of shows." Because that's what I kind of thought it was going to be. I was not expecting a fucking Chicago show in 3 weeks.
No, honestly, I didn't expect that. I don't know. This is what I love about AEW is I had no idea what to expect. I wasn't expecting that because of the whole the Empower thing, and they're doing that with all the companies coming together for that women's pay-per-view. So I didn't think Tony Khan would want to step on that right now. He's like respectful of a lot of things going on, which is awesome to see a guy in charge who loves the other wrestling companies. So I wasn't expecting that. I didn't know what I expected. I didn't know if it was going to be a new pay-per-view. So I mean, I just one thing I love. I don't know what to expect anymore watching this. I'm just sitting back and enjoying it because when you watched WWE for so long, as young Anthony said, you can predict what's going to happen. It's the same formula over and over and over. And there's no predicting right now. Like we didn't even touch on Moxley's promo tonight.
No, and that was beautiful.
It was a beautiful, beautiful promo. Where is he going with that? Like he's sending all the contracts in that he has. Is he heading over to New Japan for a while?
Could see it totally happening. And man,
it's how you keep talent fresh. Let him go over to New Japan. Get him off of AEW for a few months.
100%.
I think that's one of the things I've always wanted to see in wrestling in WWE is when, not that you ever root for a person to get hurt, but when they get hurt and they're gone for 9 months and they come back, it's like refreshing that they're back.
Yeah.
Right.
So like it's an awesome thing if they're going to ship him off for a little while and let him go do something else. And then he comes back and then he starts challenging whoever the champion is at that point. Can you imagine a CM Punk Moxley match? Can you imagine CM Punk Daniel Bryan match? There's so many other.
Give us an IWGP World Championship match on an AEW show in American soil. Imagine how that would translate. We're just hitting the tip of the climb for all of this. It's gonna be huge.
I just still cannot believe that all WWE had to do to keep Daniel Bryan on the roster was just let him do the partnership with Japan and just, let him go fight some guys. And they just did not want to do it. WWE, I cannot believe that.
That's not true. WWE called New Japan. They got on the phone and they tried to work something out for him. Why it didn't happen, I don't know, but they did make
Tony fucking Khan. That's what
I was gonna say. Like that same week, though, then you got the promo with Tony Khan. So, like, who really knows if that rumor was true to begin with?
I don't think it was. I don't think it was either.
No, the rumor, the WWE was never going to work with New Japan. They were simply trying to send Daniel Bryan over to New Japan to make him happy so they could keep him in WWE.
But look what happened last time they did that with Jericho. It it blew up in their face, and now look at Jericho.
Well, the difference was Jericho was already out of contract when he went to New Japan.
Yeah, but we also seen him show up on Raw with the Alpha Club shirt on, promoting.
Yeah. Oh, that was. I always go back to that moment. I'm always like, this is such a weird. Like, I shouldn't be watching this.
And what did Jericho
Alpha Club shirt?
Jericho, when he came back for that episode, the throwback episode of Raw, he told them, "I'm not going. I'm just going to film a backstage thing.
Yep.
I'm not going to the ring because I'm wrestling in Japan right now."
And that shows you how out of touch Vince kind of is, because he was like, "Oh, it's not going to hurt us." Yeah. And then look, 3 years removed from that, Jericho's the face of AEW.
That Jericho called Vince before he signed with AEW to try and see, hey, listen, I'm thinking of doing this. Like, he was loyal, and Vince gave him his blessing.
Hey, pal, it's gonna be okay. You'll be back here in 2 years,
and then after he signs, he gets the call from Vince saying, "Is it official? Is it really final?" Because then Vince realized, "Oh, I shouldn't have let him go."
Yeah. Now jump forward to 2021, where Vince is on Google typing, "What the fuck is a pain maker?"
It's wild times, my friends. I'm so happy we were able to get here and discuss this greatness that's going on. I'm so happy that we have this hype. I would love to fly all of you out Monday for tickets just so we can all go see Rampage on August 20th. And I hope it sells out. I'm praying it sells out. I don't think it's going to not sell out. I think that this is going to be the first time since WCW that we are having this massive fucking blowout from another company. And all signs point to yes. I shook the fucking 8 ball, and it's just like, it's clobbering time. That's what the 8 ball said. It's gonna be good shit, man.
Here's the thing that gets me: it's only an hour show, so the people there are going to get a much longer show than us at home.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
they're just going to let the whole hour be about Punk. I would
maybe they'll add in a dark taping to that as opposed to doing it every Wednesday.
That's true.
So there's a good vibe that the people at the show are going to get a little bit more than they bargained for.
Yeah, there'll be a dark match or two too. I'm sure they'll.
I'm sure it's going to be like, Elevation or Dark is going to be mixed in the Rampage, and then they're going to piggyback off of Dynamite with the other. And I don't think, both shows aren't that long, so it's a good balance of things, because like people that are going to Dynamite now, they're getting both. Yeah. So why not translate that over to the next show, so you get 3 hours of wrestling each night if you're in attendance, and it just make it a happy day for everybody to go home, high five each other, and be like, that was a great show. I'm pumped for the future, my friend.
If they're bringing Punk in for this Rampage show, they might as well just bump it up to like a 2-hour special or whatever. They might as well just throw in that extra hour.
Listen,
that was another thing. I was expecting the first TNT special show to be announced tonight. The Great American Bash by, as Jim Ross would say, it's the Great American Bash by WCW tonight. It's going to be a great show.
WWE Dynamite. Boy Jack Perry.
Before we go, Mike, you didn't tell us where you think AEW is going to be around that time.
Yet, I think we're going to see the first 2.0 ratings for a wrestling show in the longest time. I think whatever the hype is behind AEW right now, I think it's going to double easily, because you're talking about 2 huge names in not only wrestling but pop culture history. Daniel Bryan was on the Bella Twins reality show. My wife's a Daniel Bryan fan. My mom is a Daniel Bryan fan. She doesn't fucking watch wrestling, but she's like, I love that Daniel Bryan kid. He's a good guy. Green. He's really good for the environment. All that kind of stuff. It's almost like signing somebody who's akin to the Kardashians to a contract, right? Like Tony Khan is signing Kanye West of wrestling right now.
Oh man!
And on top of that, he's signing, the second guy that's bigger than bigger. Like we got 2 huge names. We got Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior coming in one fucking month of apart from each other. It's going to be just the biggest shit in the world. The wrestling world has seen since Scott Hall showed up on Nitro. And I 100% throw down on that. I think this is going to be bigger than any era we've all experienced in our collaborative years of growing up being wrestling fans. My dad would be fucking shitting a brick right now if he was still alive watching this. Like this is going to be huge, and I can't wait for it.
And so I was just reading that just an update on Cash Wheeler. It turns out he just has a really bad cut.
That's good.
He's been treating, and he's doing pretty good backstage, courtesy of PWInsider.com. So,
we
credit
love
my news source. Yeah,
I used to work with Cash. Cash is a good fucking dude, man. Part of the Carolina crew. I love that motherfucker.
So just before we go off the air, I just wanted to let everybody know, in case you didn't see. Good to see that it's nothing serious, and
good.
You shouldn't miss any time. Hopefully,
the staple with the good reporting over here. I love it.
That's me.
Any plugs? Anything that you guys want to throw out on the air before we get off?
Anthony,
Go first, baby.
You love to plug yourself, young Anthony. You do it so well. So go and do it.
I love to plug myself, and I'll do it one more time for the folks in the back. You can always find me at the Titantron Podcast on Instagram, as well as _Titantron on Twitter. If you want to buy some merch, which I encourage that you do buy some merch, go ahead, head on over to the TitantronPodcast.creator-spring.com, and you can buy some merch at prices you'll want to turn your attention to. If you're a wrestling podcaster, get involved in that top 10. I know, Tom, you keep forgetting. Come on now.
Message me and remind me.
You can get involved in the top 10 wrestlers of all time, WPC 50 project, as well as you can see me every Friday with the man himself, the OG Fig Kid, as we talk about SmackDown over here on the Turnbuckle Tavern. And if you want even more Titantron content, you can go ahead and listen to me on Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on the Bench Sports app. And if that isn't enough for you, well, God damn it, you can listen to me every day for 10 to 15 minutes for Titantron daily episodes. Talk about wrestling. We have some fun. It's always a fun time. So make sure that you turn your attention to the Titantron. But I want to turn our attention to Mike Belcaster, and you can go ahead and promote yourself.
Yeah. Turnbuckle Tavern, babies. We're almost on every single day of the week, right, Tom? You know the schedule better than anything, but I'm here to establish Fig Friday, baby.
Yeah.
You're doing 2 amazing ass giveaways. Yeah, there we go. We got Hulkster, brother. Yeah, we're doing live giveaways, unboxing, figure news. We got special guests planned down the road. We can't wait for you guys to see all the fun shit that we got planned for Fig Friday. Yeah, over the moon with how this is going to go. That's 7 p.m. Eastern time every Friday. We got 6 p.m. Central Standard, and whatever you are on the West Coast. I'm not doing the math right now, but yeah, come on down to the tavern, grab a stool, hear us just enjoy pro wrestling all over the place. Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, sometimes Saturdays, brother. You name it, we're here. Yeah.
If you haven't checked out my interview with Steve Ozer yet, from Mattel, check out the Turnbuckle Sessions that dropped today. You could check it out on YouTube. You could check it out where you listen to your favorite podcasts. It was a really good inside look at Mattel, hearing Steve talk about his fandom, about his collecting, and then how he got into Mattel. It's a great, great story. It was a fun interview. Check that out. Tomorrow morning, depending on when you watch us, Thursday morning, the Turnbuckle Tavern, our flagship show, they're going to break down everything you saw on Dynamite tonight. An in-depth look like you get nowhere else. Make sure you check it out.
Well, you're the staple. I'm the maple, even though I'm not from Canada, but you're the staple. This has been great, guys. I really enjoyed this discussion. Anthony, it was a blessing to have you here.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It was great to get your perspective, because we get the WWE diehard in here telling it what it is, brother. And you enjoyed the show, and that's most fucking important thing, right?
Very
that's
true.
What wrestling is.
Mm-hmm. That's what I love about young Anthony, because he is a WWE diehard, but he's not like those other guys who's just going to shit on AEW.
Yeah, he wasn't fighting Renee tonight. He was like, okay, I totally get it.
Renee. I love her podcast. I love her. Like, just leave her alone.
Danhausen will curse all the people that were yelling at Renee today.
Yeah.
Very evil. Yeah.
I bought the cookbook. I support
it. It's a good cookbook. Very good. Very evil. Nice stuff. We like it.
Danhausen.
Yeah. He's somewhere. Right. But yeah, thank you guys. Let's wrap it up, right? Thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. See you down the road at the Turnbuckle Tavern, baby. Yeah.